Welcome back to the Hayes FM. This is Linda Pinizzato at the Condo Expert. I think to capitalize and finish off on our subject of today, I'm going to go into swimming pools because, you know, a lot of times people really want a swimming pool in their condo building. And the interesting part is sometimes they don't really understand, I guess, you know, what type of maintenance and repairs and cleaning and so on. I mean, you know, generally speaking, a condo corporation can really have two choices. I haven't seen anyone do it yet, which really surprises me. But they really should maybe consider salt water as opposed to standard water. Standard water treatment, of course, you know, you've got your chlorine. It's a different way of maintenance and disinfection. And you can use chlorine or bromine. But when you have salt water, and, you know, chlorine and bromine, obviously, they cause a lot of red eye. There's a horrible smell. You could have a lot of maybe skin irritations and so on. And then, of course, it depends on the temperature within the swimming pool as well. So, because, you know, you want to make sure that the water is disinfected properly so that it creates a health safety feature for anybody that's using the swimming pool. And a lot of times, like, you're going to find condo corporations, they don't spend the money to have a qualified pool company. They try and do it alone, which is really taboo. They should not be doing that. Swimming pools are quite complicated. And, you know, proper maintenance will also make sure that your pipes are working properly, that you don't have a severe problem, because it could be an incredibly expensive problem if you had to go in there and try and do major repairs on your pipes. Because don't forget, I mean, the more chemicals, if you're putting too much chemicals into the pool, it's got to get into the water, and that goes through the pipes. So in all fact, if you're not spending the money or you're not doing properly, you could be damaging those pipes. And, you know, now you're talking about major expenses. But if condo corporations started to actually consider using salt water, they may find that, you know, on the sanitizing side, and certainly on any types of allergies, you know, maybe residents in the buildings may be prone to allergies and therefore they stay away from the swimming pools. Plus the smell. Because I don't know, like, I can't tell you how many older buildings that I've been in. And, you know, if the swimming pool is on the second floor, literally, I've come out of the elevator and I stood there and I can smell chlorine through the entire hallways. Now, so if that scent is coming through the whole hallways, I got to question whether or not it's embedding itself in the actual carpeting along the hallway. And it seems to me as if once that smell is in the air, it's not that easy to get rid of. It's not like you can just turn around and open windows. I mean, you're depending on the air circulation system of the condo building in order for it to, you know, regenerate new air within all the different corridors. But certainly, you know, the city public health department, maybe an idea is that they should be moving forward and create some kind of a requirement as far as, you know, like in elevators, you need to have a safety stamp certificate in elevators. So that way, if you're going into a building, you know that that elevator is properly maintained and it's up to date. So there is an insurance certificate. You go into your elevator at home and you're going to see that there's a certificate there. If that certificate is outdated, make a phone call. Better yet, go downstairs, slam on the door of your property management, find out what the hell they're doing. Because that elevators have to have a certificate of safety that is up to date. But, you know, as far as the swimming pool is concerned, you know, I don't see any safety certificate. So it seems to me that the city public health, I know that they're doing a lot of public consultations for the different cities now with review to the Condo Act, trying to find out other mechanisms to help. And certainly, you know, the city public health department may want to take a good, strong look at these swimming pools and probably include hot tubs in there too. I don't know about saunas. You know, they're the experts. I'd have to leave that one with them. But certainly swimming pools. And there's all different types of swimming pools. Because, you know, if your water is stagnant, you see, it's an interesting thing. If you own a house and you have a swimming pool in your backyard, you know, you're subject to the elements. So therefore, you could have algae and so on and so on. But I'm going to tell you is I'm going to do a shout out. Lakeshore Pools. That is the company that you should be contacting for your condo corporation so that they can come in and do a proper job on your swimming pools. That's what you need to do. But the key thing here is that, there's a lot of maintenance guidelines with relation to swimming pools and the piping. And that actually, if you think about it, you might want to take a look at fountains. I know some of the fountains as well, they need proper chemicals and so on in the fountains. Again, if there's any sense of any degree of deterioration, you can go out and just get it fixed. It's not a problem. But the question is can you pay for it? Is it part of the reserve fund study? Because if it's premature wearing because you're putting the wrong chemicals inside the pool, that premature wearing will not be covered by your reserve fund. Now you've got to come up with the extra cash. So, these sound sometimes, maybe if there's any condo board members that are out there listening to the show today, please take notes. Go back to your board and say, this is what we need to do. I am not completely convinced that property management companies actually give these kind of advice. To some degree, it depends on which ones. I know in our building, we have a phenomenal property manager. I mean, she is right on top of things all the time, and plus on top of it, we have a wonderful relationship. And that's really important as well. Board members should have good relationships, and they should have respect. Sure, hey, maybe you don't like the man beside you or a woman beside you. Maybe you can't stand them. You don't like the way they laugh. You don't like their demeanor. Well, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is you don't have to like them. You need to respect them because they're working in an environment of the five of you, and you need to respect each other to make proper decisions and be able to work together in a professional manner. I'd love to think that we love everybody that we work with, but that's not always the case. And that's no different from being on a board. It's the exact same thing. Have you ever got inside the elevator and you think that there's a traitor amongst you? I had that emailed to me. This particular person believed that, aside from the troublemakers, I know that there's troublemakers, but the word traitor, wow, that just blew me away. Traitor. I haven't thought of that word. I mean, I think of that word when I watch a television show. That's when I think of traitor. When we're watching these type of shows, espionage type of series and these type of things, I don't think of traitor. I mean, we're in Canada, we're in Ontario, heck, we're in Mississauga. So, hearing that word, but you know what? It's true. It's true. You could have a condo board who really wants to protect their territory. So they have their really close friends in the building, and that close friend in the building aligns themselves with other people in the building to get close to them and friendly, only to be able to report back to the board. Now, I don't know, traitor might be a little bit of a strong word to use, but hey, I guess if I lived in the building and I felt that if I told somebody something in confidence and they went ahead and purposely went against me, yeah, I think I would probably find it a lot easier to use that word traitor. I think that community environments, there's a lot of buildings now where young professionals, there's not really a whole lot of children. And then, of course, there's buildings where there is a lot of children that are in the building. Really, if any of you out there, if you have children and you live in a condominium, surely you and your children probably know other people in the building that have children. And the kids talk to each other, whether in the elevator, maybe in the swimming pool grounds or common areas. You know what? Why don't you guys get together and try and form some kind of a social group? You got to think of the children. You've got children living in the four walls of a condominium. They don't have any easy access to outside. Sometimes it's you may feel a comfort level of allowing them to go down the elevators and play outside, but where outside? There's not really that many condominiums that have a huge parquet. There are a few, but what can they do when they're out there? So, honestly, I think that if a few families within these condominiums just think about your kids for a moment and try and create maybe a social group, a children's group within the building. And if you can't get the approval of the board of directors, don't worry about it. Do it yourself. Go and rent the billiard room or the party room or whatever, and just do it yourself. Join together, split the cost, and do it yourself. I love kids. I think that we really need to put them at the forefront. Nothing makes me happier than to see them happy. So I think if condo communities can work together to put a big smile on the children's faces, and so that they can really make a lot of friends with each other in the building, would be fantastic. Food for thought. Now, does that mean to forget about the parents? No. Hey, if you want to start a chess club, a reading club, like I said, if you've got a condo board that will not work with you, don't worry about it. Just go do it yourself. You have full rights to these amenities. If you've got a rooftop terrace, a patio, you can meet up there. There's a lot of places within the building. You don't necessarily have to set it up so that you're going to each other's units. You do have common areas in the buildings that you have, your own total access to. And if you don't have immediate access and you need to book it, you just make the phone call and you go book it. At the Condo Owners Association, if I could have Aladdin's lamp and make a wish, my wish really would be to try and secure better governance through this entire condominium situation and make sure that people are very, very happy with everything that's happening in their building. And that means that will only be the result of transparency and governance and people that are respecting each other. So if that could happen, and if the Condo Act contribute to that, I think that all across the province, we will have a much better condominium community. You've listened today to Linda Pinizzotto here at The Condo Expert. I'd love to hear from you. Please email me at linda@lindapinizzotto, PINIZZOTTO.com. Take a moment and look at our website at COA Toronto.com. Love to hear from you. Hope you have a fabulous week, and we'll talk to you soon.